Hi, and welcome to Gay America. Real talk coming to you. Today I want to talk about one important topic, and that's molestation. We've talked about it on the show before where when I was a child that I was molested. But when I was growing up in the 80s when this happened to me, it was 81, 82, we weren't allowed to talk about things like that. I went to the one person that I thought I could trust, and she said that we don't talk about things like this. We don't want the public to know. We don't want anyone outside to know, or even other family members to know. So I had to keep my mouth shut for years. And the reason why we're talking about this today is, yesterday in the mail, I got this card. This show is never, ever to be put down anyone. I do not try to do that. But it said, notice of high-risk sex offender that moved 5 minutes away from my house. I had nightmares last night because I had to reflect on my childhood. I didn't even know they sent these out. This is the first time ever I've ever gotten a card stating this. And what I find even sadder about this is that there's a college just 3 blocks from my home. And they allowed this young man, and he is young, to move into this neighborhood. I personally didn't understand that. Again, to reflect back on me, though, it was my older brother. I've never said that on here. Normally I would say by a family member, but it was my older brother. My father encouraged it. He knew it. We've talked about it. My father's never liked me for me. Even when my mom was 6 months pregnant with me, he wanted her to have a miscarriage to not bring me into the world. So whatever he could do to hurt me, he would. And so nothing was done to my brother for what he done to me. I mean, again, I'm 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. I didn't even know a young boy's body should be doing what he was doing to me. The stupidest and saddest thing that was ever asked to me when I was growing up was, did I ask for it? Did I do something to provoke it? My answer to that is, what the hell does a 10-year-old do to provoke an older boy to do this? It was sickening to me. So nothing was done. But as time went by, he started molesting little girls. Oh my God, that was a big deal. Oh my God, a guy just molested girls. So he finally got sentenced for that. But nothing was ever done for what he done to me because I wasn't able to talk about it. I remember the first time my brother got out of the boys' home and he came back for the weekend to stay at our house. And I was scared to death of him. Even at age 13, I was. He was bigger than me. He was my older brother. We went for a walk and he said to me, you know, I like getting locked up. I couldn't understand that. But I said, why? He says, because then I get to be with other boys in there and no one has to know who I really am. Come to find out over the years, my brother is bisexual, so male or female, whichever one he can get, he will do. I always felt like my brother should have been punished for what he done to me. I have to live with it every day. You know how people say you're supposed to leave the past in the past? I've been trying to figure that out for years, how to do that, and I can't. So when I get this card yesterday, I couldn't sleep because it just made me think about what my brother done to me. To let someone like that move into this neighborhood this close to a school. Yes, it's a college and they're older, but still, I just don't agree with it. I think it's not fair and it's not right. I think that they should never have rented him an apartment in this neighborhood. I think my brother should have got more time for what he did. He's been in and out of prisons 2 times now because he just feels like the world owes him. We took his childhood away because when he was raping or molesting us, he saw nothing wrong with it. Last thing I heard about my brother was, because we don't speak, and I don't even actually acknowledge that he's my brother anymore, the older I've gotten. But I hear that he's running from the law because he's looking at his 3 strike and he's going to go away for life. So when I got this card and I had to think about this young man living in my neighborhood, it made me think that my brother could be here too. I just don't even know. I don't know where he's at. So when I went out for my daily walk, I was paranoid. I was looking all over like, is David going to pop out? Is he close by? But I'm not going to live in fear, and no one should have to. And for anyone that asks me what I did to provoke him, that's just sickening to me. When I'm being touched and molested, and I'm not going to be a pervert and go into all the details because that's also not what this is about. I don't try to offend anyone that watches this. But I didn't know what he was doing at first. I trusted him. He was my brother. So when I started telling people what he'd done, no one believed me. Because, you can't be gay where I'm from, so you sure in the hell ain't going to be molested by a man. It's just impossible. So I've had to live with that scars and burden all my life. Because I felt like, did I ruin my brother's life by telling people? I'm older now and I know I didn't. He ruined my life, if anything. Because no one should be molested or raped. I don't care who you are. No one. On this card it says this young man raped a 13-year-old girl. That's sad. She's 13. Does he not realize what he just done to ruin her life? She's going to have to live with this the rest of her life. It doesn't go into details about the young lady, but what happens if she would have been pregnant by him now? She has to raise this child or do the right thing, whatever she has to do, which is give the baby away or whatever. But that's something she's got to live with. It's easy for him to molest her, apparently, and walk away. Just like it was for my brother. I'm pretty sure people are going to get offended by this video. But I'm not mentioning his name. I would love to so much right now. Because I think it's disgusting that he lives here in my neighborhood. And yeah, I'm 30-some years older now, so it should be way in my past. But there are still certain things in my life that triggers some of the bad memories I got. I wish I could just wake up and say, oh my God, I had the perfect childhood. Because that's what my mom said to me last week. She watched one of my videos and said she won't watch no more. She goes, why do you have to talk about the bad things? What about the good things? The sad thing is, I don't remember the good things. When you have a father that hates you, a brother molesting you, you're thrown out when you're 15. What was good about my childhood? I don't remember. Mom said maybe I should stop and think about, the Christmases I had and stuff like that. But again, it's hard to remember that. And I'll be honest, I truly don't. Do I sit here and dwell every day on the past? No. I've learned that by being around the positive people I am now. But you have to let the past lay. But when you get reminders like this card in the mail, what am I supposed to do? I've not talked about this. I've not let the wounds heal. Sometimes I think that's why I don't try to date more. Is because sometimes I'm afraid what's going to happen. What if I just blow up one day because I've never dealt with this? We have to figure out a way to deal with our past in order to move on with our futures. To me, it's easier said than done. I've got some of these women that will tell me, why do you live in your past? Do you have a past like I do? Because if you don't know what I'm going through mentally every day. When something like this tragically happens to you, you don't trust a lot of people. And I still don't. Or I'll trust the wrong ones because I think that they're good for me and they're not. So some people's asked me, is that why you're gay? Because you were molested? I think that's stupid because if anything, I would have chose that woman. And the reason why that was asked to me by a family member was because supposedly my uncle was raped as a child. And after he was raped, he chose to be with men. My uncle's dead. I can't talk to him now. I wish I could, because I don't believe that. I believe, why would we want that man if we were so tortured by a man? To me, that's just disgusting. I don't get that. I've asked my brother many, many times over the years to say he was sorry. And he said he can't, because he's not sorry. I think that hurts me more than anything. I think if I could just got some kind of closure, that maybe I could have let this gone. Maybe I wouldn't have had nightmares last night from getting a card in the freaking mail. So before you judge me or judge anyone else, think about it. Do you have a past like we do? No one has the same kind of past as anyone. If you had a great childhood, great. I wish I did. I wish I knew what that feeling was like. But there's a lot of people in this world that's been molested or raped. And we figure out a way to deal with it on our own. And sometimes that's suicide. Right now in the world, teenage suicide is very high. And I'm sad to say it's mainly high in the gay community. And I researched this before I decided I was going to speak on this today. And the reason why the teenage suicide is so high is because people don't accept them. Their family members just own them. They don't know what else to do. So they resort to the one thing they think they can do, which is suicide. Like I said, I've been in Kettler, which is in Illinois, which is a mental institution when I was a child, for being gay. For not being able to handle what my brother done to me. You know, I should not have had to see a grown man naked at age 10 or 11 this way. Only thing I can say to this is that I keep praying every day that my brother will get the justice that he deserves. Well, actually, he'll never get what I think he deserves, because I really, truly, and I don't care if this offends people, but I think he should have been castrated. Because not only, like I said, did he do this to me, he done this to our step cousins, which were females. He's done it to other females. My brother is a pedophile. I think he's a sick pervert. And everyone deserves a second chance. I do agree on that. That's why I don't try to condemn anyone on here. Maybe this man can change his life for what he done to this girl. I don't know how that's possible. But that's on him, not me. I have to deal with my life, just like my brother has to deal with what he done to me. And he just turned 43. So he shows no signs of remorse now, or he wouldn't be running from the law, so he wouldn't have his 3 strikes. I would feel safer and more secure in my own life if someone would tell me right now my brother was locked up. Even though he's not being locked up for what I think he should be locked up for, at least I know he's not on the streets. And any other little girls or little boys are safe. And that's why I keep saying, we have to deal with our own communities, our own backyards before we can help anybody else. Okay, let's get these people help. I really felt that if my brother got the help when he was a child, maybe he wouldn't went to such extremes he has in his life now. I could be wrong. Maybe he still would have. But they didn't know how to deal with things where I'm from at a certain age, especially in men. It's just easier to sweep it beneath the carpet and forget it. And I did for many years. I don't try to talk about it. Like I said, a lot of people don't even know that it was my brother that molested me. I just say a family member. But I thought maybe it's time for me to heal. In order for me to do that was to finally admit that it was my brother. Since I did when I was 12 and I was told to shut my mouth up. Now you can tell me to shut my mouth up, but I'm not. Just like no one should. If you're being molested or raped or beat at home, I don't care who it's by, go to someone and report it. If you're a young child, go to your school teacher. I know that I had some of the best teachers as a child. They knew that I was going through things at home, but they just didn't know what, because we weren't able to talk about it. They knew we couldn't mention my father because I would flip out and freak out. So find that person you can trust. You know, some of us are taught and raised that cops ain't here to help us. But talk to that officer. Talk to a school teacher, a counselor. If you're a grown person and you're being abused or taken advantage of at home, find that loyal friend to talk to. Because I honestly think that if I could have talked about this as a child, maybe this wouldn't have happened to me. To the extremes it did. It could have maybe stopped sooner instead of going on for years. And that's why I guess I have a hard time with is people say, well, you let it go on for years. No, I went to my mother and she told me to shut my mouth. So if your mother tells you that, what are you supposed to do? Again, I'm 12, 11, and 10. I shut my mouth. I felt like it was supposed to happen every night or every other night. That my brother was supposed to come in my room and touch me and kiss me and do the things he did to me. I thought it was okay. It was okay. People knew and nobody was doing nothing. But I'm here to tell you it's not normal. It's not right. And it's most definitely not fair to you. So if you are going through this at home, get out. I know grown women that their boyfriends beat them or their husbands and they say they have nowhere to go. Or what will they do for money? I'm sorry. It's not worth it. No amount of money in the world's worth staying and getting abused. I wish somebody could have told me this when I was a child. Maybe I would have been thrown out when I was 15. Maybe I could have just ran away when I was younger. Or if I knew I could talk to somebody about this, maybe I could have. The right people, that is. So that's what I say when I say get the positive people in your life. Find that one person you can trust. I do have that one person. We talk about her a lot on here. I don't tell her a lot of things, unless sometimes she has to learn on videos. But it's because even she says, you need to let the past be the past. I don't condemn her for saying what she says because, like she says, she has a past too. We all do. But it's how you deal with it. And I don't really feel anymore keeping my mouth shut is the right way to deal with it. Now, if I could talk to my brother and say one thing to him, and I know you're not supposed to say this to nobody, but I would absolutely look him in the eyes and tell him that I hate him. And I think 1,000 bricks would be lifted off of me if I got to actually speak face to face to him. But have somebody in the room so that I didn't do something wrong to him or he didn't do something wrong to me. And now I'm at the age where I probably would have to say that I probably would hurt him. Because that's how much anger I have built up. Nobody should have that much anger built up. No one. Because I'm human just like you are. So for you sick perverts out there that think it's okay to molest and rape and beat kids and women or gay men, I have another thing coming to you, buddy. You're twisted and you need help. I really feel that my brother, since he's 43, there's no help for him now. Because again, he's looking at his third strike, so he'll go away. But you know what? That actually makes me happier than if I won $1 million today. Because I could really start living my life. Sometimes I don't do the things that I want to do in life just to succeed because I'm always afraid that my brother's going to come creeping around the corner. But my lady friend told me here not so long ago, you can't worry about that. Everyone's going to talk. Someone's got a story about you, whether it's true or not. But the people that love you and know you know the truth. And if they don't know the truth, but if they're a good enough friend or family member, they should come and ask you before they judge. Nobody has the right to judge nobody. Even after what my brother done to me, I'm not going to sit here and judge him. I think he's mental and I think he's crazy. Okay, I did just judge him, didn't I? I can't say I'm sorry for that. Do I want him to die or anything bad? No, I really don't. I used to think over the years that I think he deserves to happen to him what he did to me and other kids. Because, they don't tolerate molestation and rape in prison. So, that's where my brother belongs. That's where a lot of twisted, sick people belong. But again, I'm not God and I'm not the law. So I can't make those decisions. And believe me, I wish I could. Because at the age my brother was when he molested me, he wouldn't have to worry about molesting anybody else if I would have had power. Because he'd have been castrated. He would have nothing to use to molest or rape someone. So I'm sorry that this might have been a subject that people didn't want to hear today. Because again, a lot of us have a past that we don't want to talk about. But if you have been molested and you still haven't dealt with it, maybe it's time. I can't sit here and blame everything that's bad happening in my life because of my father and my brother. But they started my downfall in my life. Because it was hard for me to trust someone. Even to this day, when this lady tries to help me or give me advice, I go home at night and I wonder, well, what the hell does she want from me? But then that reality snaps in when I realize that she don't want a damn thing. It's who she is. So not everyone's out to hurt us. We just have to figure out how to deal with the past to be able to move on. And it makes me sick and sad also that people say, well, you're at that age where you should have done, forgot about it, moved on. Until you've been raped or molested by someone that you're supposed to trust and not be molested and raped by, then come talk to me. The first time this happened to me, I was scared. I thought that I was going to die. I actually prayed that I would die that night because I couldn't get up the next morning. I didn't want to face no one. I'm sorry. So, again, if you're being a victim at home, victimized by someone, get help. Because you deserve that. I'm here to tell you, you're a very special person and you don't deserve this. I wish somebody could have told me that as a child, that I didn't deserve to be touched and molested and beat by my family. I know it now. So please remember that. You deserve so much better. No female or male in this world deserves to be touched or beaten. It's something you should be wanting to give to someone that you love and care for. Not for it to be taken away from you. So no one's ever asked my brother why he did what he did to me. But again, I can remember being asked several times, what did I do to make him want to do this to me? Did I walk in the room naked? Did I tease him? I'm 10, dumbass. No. It's not true. So instead of judging me for what happened to me, look at yourself and ask why you're doing this to somebody else that doesn't deserve this. I'm sorry for getting upset, and I don't try to cuss on here, and I apologize for that more than anything. But sometimes to get the pain out and your message out, sometimes you got to raise your voice and don't hold it back. So if you can remember one thing from watching this video today, if someone is touching you or hurting you, scream, cuss, cry, I don't care what you got to do, but let it out and get out. And for you, young man, watch yourself. Because if I got this, everybody else in the neighborhood did too. And I guarantee you, I know a lot of people on that campus, I guarantee you I will show your picture off. Is it to hurt you or to cause trouble for you? No. But I guarantee you that campus that I live 3 blocks from, that you're 9 minutes away from, not everybody on that campus got your letter. They got that letter from the state. But I'll make damn sure the women that I know work there are aware of this. Because I want nobody to ever have to go through this. Ever. So again, I apologize for cussing, yelling, and all that stuff. And one last thing is, I'm not perfect. I'm not God. I'm not the law, so I don't sit here and I don't try to judge. Sometimes it seems like maybe I do. But please watch the whole video without judging it. I could have said it a lot worse today. But again, I remember that women watch my show, and I don't want to be talking like a pervert. So, one last thing. Know your status. That's so important to know your status. I wish we'd have known this years ago about know your status, because I would have been scared to death and literally wanted to know when I was a child. I can tell you I'm negative. And one last thing. It's the weekend. If you're off, there's no school, find a little bit extra time this weekend to do something nice for somebody else. Just smile. Have a fabulous day and know your status. Thank you.